Hey, what's up, everybody? Here we go again, episode 103 at Face Value. Here with Lucas and Will. I'm Brian. Rolling into another week. Not a whole lot going on. Baseball's rolling on. First coaches poll for college football was released this week, so we'll talk about that a little bit. And then, of course, the big topic of the week is the Big Ten as we get 1 week closer to week zero of college football. So
It's
we're
crazy.
closing in. So should be a good one. Hang with us. Let's get rolling with our hugs and hikes. So, Will, what you got today?
I'm gonna give a hug to what is the probably one of the better Hall of Fame games in my lifetime. Maybe the best Hall of Fame game in my lifetime. Um, I know it doesn't matter for the scheme of things, but it was kind of cool to see football back on the TV. Competitive game. Literally was won on the last play. Should surprise no one. Hayes King making a play with his legs to carry his team to a victory, then to immediately get hurt and Panthers had to sign another QB because he's already hurt in the NFL. So
Mm.
if that's not a
God.
Haynes King storyline, I don't know what is. Uh, but football was back, and the Panthers and Cardinals. Nobody expected anything from that.
Nah.
Um, Pretty good game. Pretty good game. Not gonna sit here and lie, act like I watched a ton of it, but did watch the highlights, and it gets the juices flowing a little bit. It gets the juices flowing, even though I don't love preseason football and all that mess. But it does remind me it's just right around the corner. So, hug to the Panthers and Cardinals for getting the season, if you will, off to a fun start.
Well, that was actually one of my considerations were for hugs this week was all the people that get excited for the Hall of Fame game every year, and they had to watch the Cardinals and Panthers. So at least it did turn out to be a good game. Carson Beck
Yeah,
actually made some pretty sharp throws, I thought. So, which I know
yeah,
you're playing against second, third team guys a lot of that game, but I mean, there's some of those throws. I mean, he was still making where it shows why he's always been labeled as a potential, NFL success. So
yeah. Highest scoring Hall of Fame game since 1964. Is that more shocking, or is it more shocking that the Hall of Fame game's been played that long?
yeah, that is wild.
Because when I saw that stat, I would have thought that the Hall of Fame game started like around 2002 or something. I don't know. I was
Yeah,
not expecting it to be around since '64.
Has it always been in Canton? Yeah, who
Couldn't
I
knows?
tell
would
you.
assume so
Could,
because it's
couldn't
right.
couldn't tell you.
Well, 'cause I mean, it's right next to the Hall of Fame. So yeah, I
Yeah,
would assume so.
the stadium
Is
is,
it
yeah.
is it bad, odd, whatever? But on a day where we're supposed to be honoring some of the best players to ever come through this game, that we usually throw just two horseshit teams out there playing nothing but third stringers like that. Is that really the best way we can honor these guys? I mean, I understand you're probably not going to make it a regular season game because you want the focus to be on the Hall of Famers, but we could probably at least get a later preseason game where you might get some starters in and teams that people actually want to watch. I don't know. Maybe I'm off base there, but
Hear me
Yeah, I
out.
mean, you make it like a week three preseason game, and then that's where a lot of your stars will at least play a quarter or something. At least get some kind of quality play.
Or hear me out.
Oh god.
I have a feeling
Replace
where this is going.
replace the Hall of Fame game with the Pro Bowl. At the end of the season, recognize them all. Let's do it. Like, it's been a great season. It's been fun. Prep right before the Super Bowl. Do the induction that weekend and then play the Super Bowl. I don't hate it.
I thought you
Can't
were going to
can't can't no
suggest that
Canton, Ohio in January would suck.
I thought you were
But
going to suggest getting Hall of Famers that were
Famers,
there to play the game.
that's exactly where I thought that was going too, Brian. That's
dude,
exactly where I thought that was going.
dude, I mean, I love me some Drew Brees. Congrats on his Hall of Fame induction, all that stuff. Dude doesn't have an arm anymore. He
I'll
wouldn't
say
be
he'd
able
be
to
throwing
sling it.
left-handed. Yeah.
Yeah. No, you can't do that. I mean, the Pro Bowl, obviously, we talked about on here plenty. It's kind of lost its luster. I mean, eh, I feel like the ratings. I mean, I guess the ratings for this are probably higher because it's everybody's getting pumped up and ready for the season. So
Well, it's actually also a real football game, and the Pro Bowl is just a joke now.
that's
Yeah.
fair. Yeah, that's true.
I'll say like it's just kind of like the whole, kick off the season kind of deal. So,
Yeah, I guess that's true. And Canton
oh,
in January would suck.
yes.
Very bad. Very bad.
You definitely not get good attendance in that one.
No.
Oh, well, going off the Hall of Fame game, I'm going to give my hug to one of the greatest speeches in the Hall of Fame history where Adam Vinatieri, I don't know if y'all saw this.
Mm-mm.
So he gave his speech, and in the speech, he said, Pat McAfee's here, uh, who's the only person that loved to hold my balls more than my wife. So just an
No, he
absolute
didn't.
legend, legendary kicker, legendary speech,
Oh.
just absolutely awesome. Just throwing that out there. And of course,
Mm,
his wife, being a good sport, she's laughing about it. Like it was awesome. So,
that is great.
It's good stuff, and
yeah.
we all know McAfee's personality. If Vinatieri had that kind of personality too, what
Walker
a
and
group of
experience.
Yeah. What a specialties room. Yeah.
special teams unit that had to be for those years in Indy, man. Because
Yeah.
McAfee, we know is a character. Maybe it was just a one off, but I definitely didn't have that on my bingo card for Vinatieri to
No.
have that kind of sense of humor.
That's
I mean,
wild.
dude, even at the end of his career, when he was like in his 40s, he looked like a grandpa that would just sit on the chair and tell you stories by the campfire.
Correct,
Like,
correct.
Mm.
yep, legendary. So,
It's very funny, very funny.
what about a hike, Lucas? What you got?
No, I got no hikes this week. I'm not hiking
Oh, you
nobody.
just got a hug. I
I just got a
gotcha.
hug. I just got a hug.
All right, hug it away.
I'm gonna get a hug to Chetty Bridgewater. His long career of jumping to from franchise to franchise is now finished. He announced his retirement, I think, yesterday on social media. Time to step away. Um, Man, he had a few good years in New Orleans after Breeze. Watched him play a little bit and kind of was a journeyman around the league. But I mean, I remember him back in college. Super fun to watch at Louisville. I guess he had some pretty gruesome injuries that almost cost his career, but he came back, battled back, and I mean, he became a pretty good starter across the league for the most part, as like a backup when things went haywire. But yeah, Teddy Bridgewater, give him a hug. Long, storied career for old Teddy. 15,000 passing yards. Not a
Is that
bad
really
gig,
all he
dude.
ended up with?
Yeah, dude.
Wow.
But again, he didn't start a lot. Like he was like a journeyman backer.
No.
He took the Matt Flynn route, um, and just got paid. I mean, but injuries kind of bit him early on in his career for sure. But yeah, it's just one of those things. You watch him play college, and now they're starting to retire. It's kind of weird. I
I
guess we're
know.
getting to that age. It's kind of sad.
I'll say it's crazy to imagine, like, just, yeah, watch those guys in college and now, I mean, they're barely older than us and they get to retire. Must be nice.
Yeah, that makes it even worse now that I think about it. But yeah.
Yeah. What about you, Will? What you got?
I do have a hike, and I'll see if you guys saw this because us included, a lot of people say a lot of dumb things. A lot of important figures say a lot of dumb things. A lot of people that get paid a lot more money than any of us three could ever dream say a lot of dumb things. And this might be up there as one of the dumbest things I ever heard from Purdue's new athletic director.
Oh, yes.
So y'all have seen this because
Yes.
Yeah.
Tommy McClellan went out there in front of God and everybody and said, "If you don't want to win championships, go to Indiana." A mere 6 months after Indiana just won won the college football national championship.
Yeah.
And it's not like, I mean, yeah, it's college football. Most of us would trade, or both of you have seen some in y'all's lifetime. I haven't, but I would trade a college football championship for two or three, four, or five of any other sports championships. So, um, but it goes deeper than that because in Purdue's history, since the NCAA's been a thing, I think they've won three across all sports, and Indiana has won 20 something
Basketball, yeah.
just across all sports. So to go out there, especially 6 months after Indiana just won, and you're at a spot where you are
Bad.
easily, easily one of the worst teams, if not the worst team in this conference, and you go out there and say some crap like that.
What was the context? I don't understand. Like that statement is just like flawed, like right from the
The
jump.
the context is when you get these jobs as ADs or coaches, you have to go up to a podium and say some dumb shit to get everybody excited about your tenure. And you just know it's not going to be true. But I mean, he could have said almost anything else, but you can't say go to Indiana right after Indiana won the national championship.
Yeah. I, I could. It's way worse, but it's like Clark Lee, like the head coach at Vanderbilt. Like 3 or 4 years ago, or I forgot how many years ago at SEC Media Days, he said that Vanderbilt was the best spot in college football for players to go. Like it's like this, it's not to the same vein because, like you said, Indiana literally just won the national championship. But like we all know, Vanderbilt is not the best place to land in college football if you want to win championships. Like that's just not right. But he's trying to fire up his team, do all that stuff, whatever. But saying that, that's just a wild statement.
Yeah, I don't know. I get where it's coming from. All every coach says this. I do, but you
I
just can't say that. You just
I
say we're looking forward to improving athletics and to future national championships, which you know is horse crap too. But you just can't. You can't name call Indiana.
Well,
and that's what I was going.
especially considering like Indiana just went 16-1 and you went 2-10. So it's not even like you're like, oh, we're on the brink. Like we're ready to take the next step. Like you're in the cellar right now.
But like you said, Will, like you said, you understand. I don't understand either. Like, was it? Is there some animosity between him and Indiana where he calls them out like by name? I don't like. There has to be
Purdue,
some back. No, but he called out Indiana.
no, Purdue and Indiana, same state.
I understand
So
that,
you
but
get
like
like there's an interstate rivalry, but that's
for
literally it.
sure. But like,
That's literally it.
I guess I don't know. That'd be like the Auburn AD calling out people or calling out Alabama a few years ago and being like, if you don't want to win championships, go to
Don't go to
Alabama.
Alabama.
That's crazy. That's just a crazy statement.
That's a great analogy because, and
Auburn's won
that's
one in the last 15 years, even.
yeah, and that would still be a crazy statement to say.
Absolutely.
So I mean that'd be in the same vein as what Tommy said here, and that's I don't know. It was just
Mm.
it is funny though because 5 years ago
That
that
would have
wouldn't
been.
have been that crazy.
Yeah.
It wouldn't have been that crazy at all.
I was just gonna say, is this dude stuck in
Yeah, like
2021? Like,
Yeah.
maybe he forgot what year it was, and he thought, yeah, I'm not sure, but in the present time, I don't want to get bogged down. In the present time, you just can't say some crap like
Yeah.
that.
no.
Not ideal. Well, I'm gonna go off a previous hike. So I think it was a week or two ago. Will gave a hike to the Buffalo Bills for their uniforms that they put on display for everybody to see. I'd like to extend a second hike to the Buffalo Bills for their new $2.1 billion stadium that they've built, in which almost every section of the upper deck has obstructed view in the stadium. And Buffalo Bills fans are once again just absolutely losing their minds over the just what is going on in Buffalo, New York right now. Just I mean, if you go look at the pictures, like it's just horrendous. all around the stadium, just obstructed views in several spots. Like it's wild to imagine. But you spend thousands, hundreds, thousands of dollars on these tickets for to see half a field. It's just craziness.
I think Buffalo's out of chances because, I mean, historically they've gone through some tough times. Here recently, they're the one team that has consistently been good, that hasn't gotten over the hump. So this is given like it's given like late John Elway with Denver vibes here, where nobody really hates him even though they've been good because you kind of feel like Allen needs to get you're kind of cheering for him even though you're not a fan of them. And then they keep doing crap like this, where it's like, okay, maybe I'm just gonna be completely out on the Bills because this is just stupid. This when they trot out in those uniforms in that stadium, Buffalo better boo the living hell out of them.
Yes.
I didn't even know they were getting a new stadium.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it just
I
again
mean,
a team that if they're not your team and you're not like a close rival, you really don't have any reason to hate the Bills. They have
no.
likable players. I mean, even McDermott he wasn't a terrible coach. Like it just that he couldn't get it over the hump. I mean, Joe Brady seems like a likable guy. Josh Allen's an extremely likable guy.
Yeah.
So again, there's no villainism from the Bills Mafia. Even every other fan base, like you might talk a little crap, but on the inside, you're like, it seems like they're having a lot of fun.
Yeah.
They really enjoy their team in freezing cold, abysmal weather. They're still out there. They're a loyal fan base, and this is the thanks the Bills organization gives them. A team that just can't find a way to win in the big ones. Crappy uniforms, and now just terrible game day experience. So tough
So
time.
they yeah, the glass half full is that they said that the seats that have obstructed views have not been sold for football games and won't be, but will instead be used for other events like concerts. So if I spend hundreds of dollars for a concert to watch from the upper deck, I only get to see half of it. So
But again, in those stadiums, you're watching the concert from a screen anyway.
yeah, not
You
if you
know,
not if you have half a wall in front of you.
it's fair. Hopefully, they can see the screen. Just a little peek over the side.
I mean, yeah, if
Mm.
you just go find some of the views, like it's wild. But I don't know. So Buffalo Bills can once again take a hike.
Dang, man.
Jerry would never.
No.
But
Squeezing out all the money.
yeah, I was just say Jerry would definitely sell those tickets to. If
I
there
Yeah.
was a
mean,
seat to fill, he's selling the ticket.
not to get bogged down on Jerry, but just another little side clip. So the other day, I read that Christian Parker, the new defensive coordinator for the Cowboys, did not want the media to film defensive practice because they didn't want any like little things getting leaked out for other teams to see, things like that. Jerry comes down. They go talk to Jerry. 15 minutes later, guess who's at practice? The entire media. So, because again, it's not about winning football games, it's about selling the product. So,
The
You,
brand, baby.
dude, I'm sure we're gonna do like an NFL preview pod at some
no, I
point.
don't want to.
Dude, honestly, I think the Cowboys are gonna be good, dude. Like, I'm I'm dead serious. Like, if they can have a mediocre defense and play offense like they did last year, they're winning a lot of games in a bad division. Because that division is not going to be that good this year, I don't think.
I agree with that.
I'm telling you,
I agree
dude,
with that.
I refuse to
to have hope.
increase my expectations.
I'll do a futures bet and have the Cowboys win the division because I think they do.
Also, speaking of that, I just saw Laramie Tunsil just tore his ACL a couple days ago for the Washington Commanders, or his
Heck,
bicep. That's what it was.
ah,
Yeah,
yeah.
Or no, tricep, whatever the
I
hell.
I think it was his bicep. Yeah, like he said, he'll
I
miss a
said it
majority
was
of the regular
somewhere
season.
somewhere in this general area.
Yeah, yeah. So
Dang.
he'll miss a majority of the regular season. So
Yeah, I
Jaden
don't.
Daniels will once again be running for his life.
I,
But
Yeah, that division is going to be very bad.
I think so too. I don't think
Um,
Philly's as good.
no, I agree. And
the wild card
Quinton
is
Williams just
honestly
re-signed too.
saw that. The wild card is
Yeah,
honestly the Giants. I'm
I
honestly
agree.
interested by the Giants.
It depends on how Jackson Dart is.
Well, and
I'm.
Scadaboo, how healthy he comes back,
I mean,
and if he can stay healthy. I mean,
I
you don't
feel
have to
Something.
worry about concussions because that dude's a
yeah.
living concussion.
I don't know, man. I hope Jackson Dart's got some good people in his corner because he kind of yeah he's got a little. This is not a true comparison completely, but like he's going a little Joe Namath. Like he likes the spotlight, the New York. But is his play gonna be all that great, or is he gonna be more like Broadway Joe and the you know? But I don't know, man. We'll see. We'll see. They do have Harbaugh. I mean, so we'll see how that goes. But
I mean, they tried really hard to get Charlie Weiss Jr. to go up there to coach from LSU. Because
Yeah.
obviously he coached Jackson Dart at Ole Miss as well to run the offense, but that could happen after this year, next year possibly. So we'll see.
I mean, there was supposedly applause today or yesterday at practice because Jackson Dart was sliding and not wanting to take hits. Like, yikes. But anyway,
Well, I mean, look at what Jaden Daniels was doing. Dude refused to slide, and he was getting absolutely
Ooh,
rocked.
yeah, bad.
And so he finally, at like the end of last year, finally learned how to slide a little bit just to just to survive.
Mm, not a big fella.
No, but yeah, we can talk about it when it comes to, but I refuse to ever lift my expectations ever.
I'll lift him for you, Brian. I got you this year, dude.
Yeah,
I'm
appreciate
high. On,
that.
I'm high on the Cowboys this year. Honestly,
Everybody is every year, and then
I'm
they
not.
bring ever, and then
I'm
they bring
typically
everybody
not.
back to. I know. We'll see. Caleb Downs has looked good in training camp. That's all I'll say. And
Can't make the defense
Demar.
worse.
Oh man, I don't even know if I want to say his name because he's gonna get hurt tomorrow. But Demarion Overshawn is a monster.
Yeah,
But watch tomorrow, he's gonna tweak his ankle or pull his hamstring or something. Just
he's
saying.
he's gonna have a toe.
Yeah.
The old turf toe monster.
Yep. And he'll be out 6 weeks or 10 weeks or whatever it is. So anyway, I get my hopes up.
All right, dude.
Well, that's our hugs and hikes. Yeah, let's get into our college football. So the first rankings have come out this year. Our coaches poll rankings, first of the season. So Will, you kind of brought it up to talk about. So kind of what are some of your impressions? Anybody you think got a little overrated for what they should be?
sure do. Good thing you boys are sitting down
Mm.
because Texas A&M is
I was gonna.
ranked way too freaking high.
Yep, I was gonna say it too. That's the
I
one that
mean,
jumps out to
Texas.
me as well.
It's the most glaring one, guys.
Yeah,
It's the
yeah.
most glaring one. You know, I mean, I've said it before. I feel like I am a pretty fair fan. I call a spade a spade. I will cheer them on till the day I die, but we are not the number 8 team in the country. We do not. The schedule is too difficult, and we have too much unproven. Not saying it cannot work, but I need to see both sides of the line to see how this thing's going to play out. I think we have good, we have a good receiving core. We do have a guy now in his. This will be his 2.5 years of starting quarterback, so you hope to see him take that next step. But we have two first-time play callers on both the offense and the defense. They have both been there, but they have not called plays. You bring back a lot of secondary. You have some linebacker depth retention, but Scooby Williams is hurt, so your most tenured guy may not even be available at the beginning of the season. You know, how big is that really with the teams you're playing? Whatever. I'm not saying we can't end up here, especially if we win some of these games we're probably not predicted to be.
Yeah.
As we start here when this poll came out, what I was like, okay, what are we doing? Even the team I love, what are we doing? There's some teams behind there that I think have proven more and are already expected to be better as the year goes on behind us, namely the first two behind us. I mean, I think there's a lot of people, which not to tip SEC preview stuff, a lot of teams are really high on Oklahoma,
Yes.
really, really high on Oklahoma. And then Ole Miss was just on the precipice of going to the college football final. Granted, again, new head coach and some other things here, but you're bringing back Chambliss, who was one of the most exciting guys in college football. So right there, at least those two got to be higher than A&M. I think there's some other teams behind there. I think we should have fell more probably in the 14 to 16 range with what I. That's me knowing my team, what we have coming back of a real honest projection of where I think we're at. Definitely not 8.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, Ole Miss, obviously, you hear it a lot, like you were talking about with coordinators, right? Coaching is probably most important in football than any other sport, right? You're calling plays, you're making adjustments on the fly. Like in basketball, you hand the ball off to your star and he does his thing typically, right? In baseball, you give the ball to a pitcher, you set the line like we talk about all the time. Dusty Baker won a World Series with the Astros. I'm pretty sure with that lineup, most of us could have managed that team and won a World Series with the X's and O's part of it, right? Obviously, you want to be a motivator, that kind of thing. But in college football and football in general, like the X's and O's, like that's where games are won and lost. And if you can make adjustments, and obviously, you bring back Trinidad Chambliss, and again, we're getting into SEC preview stuff when we shouldn't dig this deep into it. But just to the point with Ole Miss, I think they're overrated too, just because they lost their coordinators. Right, the continuity at Oklahoma, like they're going to play
And head
well.
coach.
Exactly, exactly. Because LSU did the same thing, right? Whenever Joe Brady and everybody left after 2019, LSU was asked, "Oh, well, who can run the Joe Brady offense?" Well, they got his right hand man to come in, and he didn't do squat. Like it sucked. Like he couldn't run the he had the tools, he just couldn't operate the machinery, right? And I feel like that could be a problem at Ole Miss this year too. Chambliss exciting, right? Keywan Lacey is going to be a monster, like there's no doubt about it. They're going to do their thing, but when it comes down to it, and you're game planning against defenses, I think it's going to be tough. But like you said, with Oklahoma, I think Oklahoma might be undervalued in this poll. I think they're going to be very good. They might have one of the best defenses in the country. Um, but
One thing Venables is good at.
yeah, absolutely. I think Alabama might be a little too high at 11. I mean, we don't even know what they're going to do at quarterback,
I
um,
agree.
which is again, LSU is probably right where they need to be right now. Like, I think they're going to be very good defensively. They're at 13 for those who don't have it pulled up. Um,
Yeah, I mean,
they can
once you
go
get to
either
15,
way.
16, up to 25, you could probably throw those teams in a hat and reshuffle them, and they're all within the margins
Yeah,
pretty similar, you know.
agreed.
Well, one team I
Agreed.
was going to ask about though is like, I mean, we saw what happened last year with their whole debacle, but like Penn State, like they got the entire Iowa State team to come to Penn State, jump into a Big Ten. Obviously, we know it's a different caliber of conference, and they get put as number 17. I have a hard time. I mean, I feel like a little bit of that is Big Ten bias, getting them put that higher ranking. I mean, I have a hard time believing that they're truly like a. I mean, I would have a hard time arguing they're a top 20 team right now. I mean, the same kind of goes for Michigan. I mean, I don't see Michigan. I mean, they might be better this year, but I don't know, at least starting off, I don't necessarily know if Michigan is really a top 20 team right now.
Agreed. But if I'm being honest, and we've talked about them before, I'm putting Iowa above both of those teams personally. I'm putting Iowa above Michigan and Penn State.
I
I
mean,
think
Iowa
Iowa's
Iowa hasn't been a dominant team, but they also, yeah, I mean, everything is close. They're competitive in every single game that they play. I
for
mean,
sure. and somehow they find their way to 9 wins every year.
Yeah.
So, I mean, other than that, I mean, you have obviously Miami from the ACC at 7. They're returning Malachi Tony and Mark Fletcher and Mensa's over there now, so they're going to be pretty good. I mean, Tech at 12. I mean, I guess you have to have some Big 12 representation in the polls, but do we really think Texas Tech is better than LSU, USC?
No, no, but I guess this is again projection, but Texas Tech is going to end up, mm, in all likelihood, a top five team just because of
Schedule?
because of the conference and schedule they're going to play in. I'm not saying you need to put them there now, but it's very likely they end up there by the end of the season just because it's the nature of the beast with how, how
For
the season's going
sure.
to play out. I mean, the other one that stands out, and even by the voting here, it had to be all over the place because Indiana at 6, the defending national champions, have the second most first place votes and end up at 6,
Yeah.
which means either there's some coaches out there who are just mad and threw them at 24 out of spite, or they got
Purdue.
ranked all over the place. Apparently, yeah, yeah, could
Purdue.
be,
Purdue's the outlier. They put him at 134.
yeah. I mean,
Dead last.
that's
Messed up the average.
Yeah.
that's crazy for them to have seven more first place votes than any of the teams behind them, and they're ranked behind all five other teams getting all four of the teams getting first place votes after, of course, number one Ohio State. Um,
I'm the other thing that kind of gets me to, like, if you look, so the difference, and we can compare them side to side if you'd like, but if you go look at the national championship odds and compare it to this, like, Notre Dame's the odds on favorite to win the Natty. I don't know if you have seen that. Um,
Mhm.
they're the betting favorite at the moment. And I think it's interesting to kind of compare the two because, again, this is going by coaches who, again, they know the game, but they're not breaking down film of every team in the entire country to make an educated opinion on where these teams should stand. Whereas in Vegas, like, they pay people
I mean,
and run computer models so they don't lose money.
I can I have a quick and easy reason why I think they're the odds-on favorite to win.
Their schedule's awful and they have the easiest path into the playoff, number one. And
That,
their quarterback's going to be very good.
and the third one thing I would add is that because of their softer schedule,
They're going to be
I
rested.
mean, it's still football, but injuries maybe, they may not have to play the full games. Injuries are less likely against lesser opponents where everybody else ranked from 11 from 1 to 11, throw in Notre Dame with that. Them all 10 of those other teams are going to have to go through an absolute gauntlet
Yeah.
of schedules and just fierce opponents and week in and week out. Well, not every week. We know there's, some lower level teams too, but top to bottom, they're going to have to face a lot more physical contact in games than what Notre Dame has on their schedule outside of one game from Notre Dame.
Yeah, I mean, odds, I guess, have shuffled around a little bit. Ohio State and Notre Dame currently have the same odds to win the national championship. They're both at plus 600. Texas is the second at plus 750, tied with Oregon. So those are 3-4. Georgia's at plus 800. Indiana's at plus 900. So Vegas isn't even as high on Indiana. Miami's at plus 1,000, and LSU's in at plus 1,800. A&M actually is right back behind them at plus 2,200. So A&M has better odds than Tech, Alabama, Ole Miss, OU, USC, Michigan, Penn State. So
Wow.
there's some truth to that. Obviously, like, not every one of those teams can win the national championship. There's only one winner, so you have to place odds on everybody. But I mean, maybe the coaches see something in A&M. You never know.
Elko.
Yeah,
I mean,
absolutely.
Elko's really, really
Defensively,
respected. He's really respected,
yeah,
and I'm happy he's my coach. I think he is the right guy. It's just I need to see some on field stuff before
for sure.
8 seems high.
I can't make the same case for A&M as I did the Cowboys being in a softer division.
No,
No.
So that's
no,
the I can't help you there, Will, because it's going to
no.
be a gauntlet. It's a gauntlet.
I will break it down much more next week.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah, got any other notes on that?
Not really,
No.
because we already kind of tipped a little bit of I think where each of our heads are in our breakdown tonight with some teams that we might think are overrated or underrated. Because y'all have already said some things that I'm surprised at, so I'm excited to talk about within the Big Ten because I have some differing thoughts. So
Let's do it.
Let's get into it. I mean, the Big Ten uh, should be an interesting. I mean, it's obviously last year Indiana winning it. Ohio State odds-on favorite throughout the entire season. Fall flat on their face. Just couldn't figure out a way to beat Miami. Miami's dominant defense beats them. Oregon, very, very hyped team. I mean, those are really the three teams that are, obviously stand out above the rest at this point. But I mean, kind of, Will, I guess we go to you first. Like, who you gonna think outside of those three that you think has a shot at the Big Ten this year?
outside of Ohio State, Oregon, and Indiana,
Yeah,
nobody.
yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking too.
To actually win the Big Ten, it's a three-horse race. It's a three-horse race. There's a couple teams right outside of that that I think can make a push here and there. Again, scheduling disparity with the 18 team conference, it's going to happen. But the talent on the first two teams and the respect that I have to give Kirk Cincinnati for his how he runs his squad and what I believe them they're bringing back a good amount, and I think his transfer class this year is better based off of their previous production than what the class was last year, and they went 16-0 and won the national title. Now, again, those guys became great last year, but coming into the year based off what we had seen at their prior stops, this class has even more proven production at their previous stops than what the last class did, and he took them to a national title. So I just out of pure respect, I have to keep Indiana up there, and why I stated a while ago, I think they're being undervalued, at least by some coaches in the poll, and then even really in Vegas right now because uh, I think starting with Hoover at quarterback, like yeah, Hoover had some interception issues, but Josh Hoover, if I ranked Josh Hoover today based off this day last year with Fernando Mendoza, I would have been more amped to go with Hoover than Mendoza. Now, I could be completely off on that by the end of the season, but if I'm comparing what I knew going into both seasons, I actually think I sat right here on this podcast last year and said Fernando Mendoza, a transfer from Cal, doesn't do much for me at Indiana, and he only led him to a national title and a Heisman, and he won the Heisman Trophy. So, uh, yeah, I'm very high on all three of those teams. I'm very, very confident one of those three will win this conference. I think there is some teams that could maybe one that y'all are both down on. I actually, I actually expect Penn State to make a bit of a turnaround here. I'm not saying Rocco Beck's a world beater. I think Matt Campbell's a good coach. He had a Iowa State team that was constantly towards the top of the Big 12 in recent years, and just him leaving, they are projected to finish second to last or dead last in the Big 12. No one's even mentioning Iowa State anymore. He took a lot of that team to Penn State, and diving into what we normally do here with schedules, it's pretty easy.
Penn State's
It,
schedule is an absolute joke.
there is two losses on this schedule, maybe, and that would be at Michigan and
Home
at
to SC.
yeah, and mostly because they're back to back weeks. But the only other scary one here, really, as far as on paper, should be at Washington.
At Washington. Yeah.
Washington, yeah.
At Maryland to end the season could be a little tricky if they're running being a little high and mighty, but This schedule is piss poor.
Watch out for those Boilermakers.
And yeah, am I a little squeamish about jumping on a Penn State wagon after how much we glazed them last year for them to just be an absolute dumpster fire? Yeah, but you have to remove that. It's a whole new system. It's a whole new group of coaches. It's a whole new group of players. Just basing it off of that and looking at this schedule, you can't tell me that they shouldn't be in the top, really four, in my opinion, at the end of the season. They are not a top four team in this conference. I'm saying they will end up being there because the schedule is so lax.
I mean, fair. But even with the talent that they had last year, I mean, I know you talking about we can't go back to last year. They lost the freaking Northwestern, man. Like that's inexcusable. I mean, yeah, I don't know. I could see them losing at home to USC. Wisconsin's going to be awful. Like, let's not even go there. Purdue's going to be bad. I mean, I think they realistically lose all three of those games that you just mentioned, and possibly like at Maryland, maybe even Minnesota. They should beat Northwestern this year. Give them that. I'm not sold on Penn State. I mean, again, I know I'm basing it a little bit off of last year. It's a whole new system, new players, new everything. But there's also a big jump stylistically when you're going from the Big 12 as a coach to the Big 10 as a coach, and I want to see that first. Obviously, there's there's also a big jump from James Madison to Indiana, and that turned out okay for Signetti as well. So there's also that side of the coin as well. But back to Indiana. I mean, I know you mentioned like a lot of the names and stuff have good production returning, but a lot of it's fit too, man. Like I was so high on LSU with all their portal class, number one portal class coming in with Brian Kelly, all this stuff. You had a returning quarterback. Everything looked awesome, and it just didn't click. Like something just didn't click. And every year, I think that's going to be a new roster turnover. And Signetti at this point has gained the benefit of the doubt for sure. I agree with that 100%. But Hoover has picks in him. He's going to be facing much tougher defenses than he did at TCU. Mendoza did too. I understand. I
Curtis
understand
O'Rourke, dude. Curtis O'Rourke was not bad at Indiana, and he was.
for sure. But you also don't just lose 8 NFL draft picks, a Heisman winner, 200-yard running backs, two 800-yard receivers, and just don't miss a beat. And if you do, then Kirk Signetti needs an even bigger pay raise if they don't miss a beat after this year. Um, and that could be the case for sure. It's just at some point it has to kind of come crumbling, not crumbling down, but it has to take a step back because they host Ohio State this year, which that's going to be an unbelievable game. But they have a pretty tough stretch going to Nebraska, hosting Ohio State, going to Michigan. Like that's a rough 3 game stretch, and then you're at home against Minnesota, but then you host USC and then go to Washington. Like from October 10th all the way to what date is that? November 21st. Like that's a gauntlet of a run right there. And your one relaxing weekend is hosting Minnesota, who's going to play some smash mouth type of football with PJ Fleck. So that's a tough run for them. And if they get through that unscathed, then I mean, hands up, they deserve to win the title. But
I guess where I stand with them is after not giving them any credit for 2 years, until proven otherwise. Now I'm just gonna lump him in because
yeah,
he's I think he's earned that. If nothing else,
for sure.
he's at least earned that.
Yeah, absolutely. The good thing too is they don't have to face Ohio State or Oregon in the regular season. I mean they do face Ohio State. Sorry, they missed out on Oregon, um, which obviously is good for them. Um, but I mean Ohio State, talk about another brutal schedule. Like Ohio State schedules might be one of the toughest in the country if I'm being honest. Um,
I think it's ranked fourth. I think they're fourth in strength of schedule.
I mean, that's only because freaking Ball State and Kent State are putting them down.
Yeah, but I
Um,
mean, Going to Texas is tough
I
in week
mean,
2.
yeah, and then they have to go to Iowa. They go to Indiana. They host Oregon. They go to USC. They go to Nebraska, and then you have the rivalry game. Like, I know Ohio State are odds-on favorites to win the national championship, but I mean, I could see them losing 2 or 3 games in that. Like, do they win at Texas?
I mean, it just really depends. Is
Because that's
Arch
going to set the
Manning going to make
tone.
a bounce back this year? I mean,
I mean,
is Arch Manning going to build off what he did last year?
if Arch plays like he did towards the end of the season, they're winning that game.
Yeah.
Like, as if Arch plays like he did at the end of the season, at the beginning of the season. Because, in your opinion, in y'all's opinion, like, who had the better progression over the course of the season, Arch Manning or Julian Sayin?
Well, that was one of the biggest things I read about saying is they talked about the high production of Ohio State, but it was also very slow pace. Like you were setting Julian Saying up for just success with the short game,
Let
and
the
he never
defense
really
win
got
the
a
game.
chance. Yeah, and he never got a chance to really go all out, and that's where it really came and exposed them whenever they played at Miami in the
Yeah,
quarterfinals. Like, because now like you play another high level defense, and now you have to force the ball downfield, and you're not built for that now.
yeah. So just based off of quarterback progression last year, I'm taking Arch's progression over Sayin's.
100%. Yeah. I mean, he was two different quarterbacks throughout the year.
But let's go ahead and say Ohio State drops week 1 to Texas. Like, you got to go to Iowa. That's going to be a close game because it always is. You go to Indiana. I mean, 2 losses there. Drop one to USC or Oregon. It's 3 losses. I mean, I don't know.
No,
I
it's
think
it's a it's a very tough stretch, and it'll tell us more about Ohio State this year. I mean, because again, if you get through all that,
you're
you've
the most
proved it.
battle
Like,
tested.
oh
Yeah,
my goodness. I mean, again, argument here, they have the toughest Power Four schedule in the country. If you come through that battered and bruised, okay, is this where the mighty fall a little bit for once? But you're talking about a saying in year 2 now. Talking about Jeremiah Smith in year 3. We keep saying, or I at least keep thinking, well, they can't keep every year sending 6 defenders to the NFL and having guys to just fill right in. I'll be gosh dang if every year they don't just have another 4 or 5 or 6 guys going in the NFL that you hadn't heard about. This is kind of like the Saban defenses at Alabama. Like you got 30-year guys just ready to roll up in there.
yeah,
Um, Wide receivers will be. I mean, we know Smith. They got Chris Henry Jr. like an all-world, another high school kid coming in. They don't even know how much field time he's going to get. I mean, they'll have receivers. Bo Jackson's a good running back, so the talent's still there. Um,
yeah.
but they're gonna get their chances to prove it. Let's put it that way. They're
Oh,
gonna get their chances
absolutely.
to prove it.
And that's where it comes back. And this is a whole other tangent, but there's a 9-3 Ohio State whose losses are to Texas, Indiana, and Oregon, who are all three potential top five teams at the end of the year. Do they get in over a 11-1
Kansas State.
East? Yeah, like
But that 11, but that it actually be probably 12-1, possibly if they play in the Big 12 championship and lose to
right,
Tech. Like,
right.
they're getting balanced out for that team.
I mean, we've seen we saw what a three was it 3 loss Bama got in last year.
But not over a 10-2 team.
Yeah.
It was a battle between a
Well,
bunch of nine
Notre
and three
Dame
teams. Notre Dame was what?
BYU,
10-2.
BYU,
Yeah, but they were 10-2, not
11-1.
9-3.
Yeah, but
Oh,
Bama was 9-3.
yeah, I guess that's true.
So if there's a close, to your point, 11-1, almost impossible. If there's a close 10-2 team with say a Penn State schedule, and Ohio State has those three losses and none of them are a blowout, yeah, I think. I mean, yes,
They
they should get in at that point.
yes, I agree they should, but will they? With the there's no real set precedents. And again, you know what would solve all this? You know my answer.
Yeah, well, they talked about it today, and they extended the deadline to December 1st, so
They even
Let
talked about 20 teams now.
which is
no,
just atrocious.
no, just go to 24. Top eight have buys, home games for all the top seeds. Second round, the buy goes to the you play it at the team who had the bye, and you go from there and
Hmm.
have a 16 team playoff. That's what it should be. Get rid of
Yep.
conference championships, let it go.
And
Because
then the
again,
games at Indiana, USC, and Oregon just don't matter because you can lose them and you're in anyway.
but they do matter. They do. They absolutely matter because again, you can go and play freaking a bunch of cupcakes and boost your schedule up like Kansas State and be fine. So let's put Kansas State in there if they go undefeated and see what happens.
Yep. Well, one
Yeah.
team we have not talked about though is the Oregon Ducks, who
Yeah.
have Dante Moore coming back. They've got a lot of their defense coming back. They got a chance to be dangerous this year, like really good. So, I mean, their schedule's not a super easy one. They got to go to USC, they got to go to Ohio State, and then the next week they host Michigan. So, and then they host Washington in the end, which is a big rivalry game. We've talked about that one in the past. So, I mean, not a cakewalk by any stretch of the imagination, but one thing that I did see is that uh, during Dan Lanning's time, Oregon is 1-5 against teams that have gone on to reach the national championship, and they're 37-0 against every other team they've played. So it comes back to what we talked about last year with James Franklin and what we've talked about with other guys. Like, can Dan Lanning finally win the big game? This is the big question. So can he finally get over the threshold and win the conference?
I think if there's any year it's going to happen for them, it's this year. Like this is I mean, we said the same thing about Penn State last year. Legitimately, we
And
said
Clemson.
and
Yeah.
Clemson, but we literally said if there's any year Penn State wins the Big Ten, it's this year. Oregon's the exact same way, in my opinion. Again, as Brian mentioned, everything coming back. You got your star quarterback coming back. DeCorian Moore is healthy. Yeah, it's they should be honestly they should be the cream of the crop of the Big Ten, in my opinion.
Yeah.
With what they have coming back and proven coming back on that same team, right? Obviously, we talked about Indiana. Like we know what Signetti does. They haven't done it in the Big Ten conference yet, those players, but these guys have, and so yeah, I and it looks like there's been a little trend of a new Big Ten team winning the national championship the last 3 years. So if that trend continues, it's Oregon's turn. So we'll see.
Okay, so who did Oregon hire? Because didn't they lose both their coordinators, or they just lose their OC?
Their OC went to
Kentucky.
Kentucky. Yeah, he went to
Will
Kentucky.
Stein left for
Will Stein.
Kentucky, who has been the reason this offense has hummed along. And, I mean, he's the one credited with turning around Bo Nix's career,
Yeah.
and the one that got Dante Moore, who looked rough at UCLA, and then has him on the precipice of a top five draft pick. Would have definitely been a top five in the last draft. So
So
that's
Both of their guys were promotions.
yeah. So again, it's kind of the same concept that we kind of were talking about earlier, where he was the co-offensive coordinator behind Will Stein or with Will Stein in the offense. But again, if he has the controls, can he operate the machinery? Like and that is a question mark for sure. But his combine's one of the brand new ones with all the bells and whistles.
he's got a lot of them, man. He's got a lot of them.
Yeah.
This team has talent. I mean,
Yeah,
and you know, something that is very underrated in my opinion is the fact that, not saying I want this to happen, but it is a reality of the game. Like, if something happens to Dante Moore, their season's not tanked because you have a guy that started for 2 years in the Big Ten as the backup in Dylan Raiola.
true.
Like, he's got experience starting in this conference. Now, has he always been,
Great.
great? No, but as compared to what most of their teams, the situation most other teams would have to fall to, that's a massive luxury in my opinion
Yeah,
to have a guy with it, at least with experience and in this conference. It's not like a promotion from, you know, now not to say does that matter because Trinidad Chambliss came from BFE and, lit up the SEC. So I'm not saying it can't happen elsewhere, but again, I think that's a really big security blanket to have there if something was to happen to Dante Moore.
I think that's a really good point because if you go down the list, just looking at the coaches poll, you can go pretty much every team in the top 25. If their starting quarterback goes down, their season's pretty much complete. I know LSU for sure. LSU season rides on Sam Levitt. If Sam Levitt goes down, LSU's in big, big trouble. I mean, Marcel Reed, he goes down, A&M's in trouble, right?
Like,
If
again, talent
Arch
on the
goes,
roster, but
yeah, it's not going to
no
run the same.
experience.
It's not going to run the
No,
same. Like if
because your offense is being tailored for a certain type of quarterback.
for sure, for sure. And again, you saw Trinidad Chambliss do it at Ole Miss. Lane Kiffin brought in a few guys, but again, that's a one in a million thing where Chambliss he won the D2 national championship. He was older. He was able to make it happen. Not everybody does that, and that's a great point. I like that point a lot with Oregon. That's a huge huge deal. I forgot Raiola went there honestly because that's right. We were wondering why he went there since Moore decided to come back. But wow, yeah, that's a solid point there. Yeah, they're scary.
So, so Will, who's your conference champion?
Oh man, I've gone back and forth with this, and I, oh God, I'm only nervous to pick Oregon because of what I did with Penn State last year. That the team that everybody's just jumping on the
Yeah,
bandwagon. But I didn't even bring up Evan Stewart. Evan Stewart was supposed to be their best wide receiver last year, missed the whole season. He's back completely healthy.
yeah,
I mean, this team's just got weapons that and having to go to Ohio State, but they also had to go to Penn State. Well, I don't know, but it was a different Penn State after that game.
for sure.
So, like, that was a big game last year, and yeah, man. And honestly, it's between Oregon and Indiana for me. I've gained so much respect for Cincinnati that, like, why do we keep acting like this guy can't do it when he just did it 6 months ago? We keep doubting his philosophy of bringing in transfers, and I outside of outside of the Ohio State game and the Big Ten final and it was the Iowa game was close if I remember right. Oh, there was another game that was close too. But anyway, he's won. But I'm gonna go. I'm stammering here. I'm gonna go with Oregon. I'm gonna go with Oregon. I think Dan Lanning. It's become popular for us to say you can't win the big ones until you do. But I think he's a good enough coach to keep putting his teams in positions to get him a chance to win the big one. I think he can win them this year.
About you, Lucas?
I'm based off Ohio State's schedule. I don't think they do it. Um, I'd honestly be surprised if they make the championship game with that schedule, based on Oregon and Indiana's schedule. I think we see an Oregon and Indiana conference championship game. And yeah, I mean, God, is it going to happen again this year? Like, are we all going
I'm
to go
so
or?
scared, Lucas.
Yeah, are
I'm
we all
so
going to go?
scared.
We're all going to go Oregon. Like we got roasted on TikTok for all picking Penn State, and it was warranted. by the end of the season. We have no idea what we're talking about, but man, just the talent returning. I think defensively they're going to be great. I mean, dude, they shut out Texas Tech in the playoff, man. They did give up 56 to Indiana, but man, I'm gonna roll with Oregon, dude. I think they just have way too much talent coming back. Um, yeah, and Will's point about the backup, just in case there's an injury that happens, solidified that for me. Yeah, give me Oregon to win the conference. Are they winning the Natty? Hopefully, the SEC has something to say about that this year, but give me Oregon to win the conference.
I'm gonna take Indiana. I just have a hard time. Like everything I'm reading about the transfer class, Will said it earlier. A lot of people like this transfer class more than last year's transfer class for Indiana. I mean, they got Josh Hoover to step in and replace Mendoza. If he can tone down the interceptions, he's going to be dangerous. I mean, three of their big hogs on the offensive line are coming back this year. And they're still going to be able to run the ball. There's more upside in Turbo Richard coming in. I think he can be better than Roman Hemby from last year. So I mean, I think there's a really good shot that Indiana. Plus, I mean, we've seen what Signetti's put in there, just the toughness. Because one of the biggest things they talked about Oregon is that one of their biggest struggles has been their offensive line. Like they get whenever they got into those big games, they start getting pushed around. So that'll be a big question mark for them, and it's also a question mark for Indiana because they got some new defensive line guys coming in. But I mean, just the toughness and what he brought in. I mean, I can't doubt Kurt Signetti anymore. Last year we hyped him up, and then we all picked Penn State to win the to win the conference because we said the year before was a fluke. Well, there's no more flukes in Indiana, so I'm gonna take Indiana to win the conference again.
Yeah, I think I just know in November I'm gonna be so mad at myself. I already have the feeling that I mean, why did I get suckered in again? Why did I drink the Kool-Aid? But
Are you talking about the
oh, here
Texas
it
and A and
is.
M game?
Oh no, I'm not
Oh
even
yeah.
looking forward to that. I I'm not looking forward to next week's preview. I'm really not. I'm just not.
What about dark horse? Will, who's your Big Ten dark horse?
I don't know how to do it, guys. I really don't because I think past that group of three is just there's just not a lot to talk about there. I mean, so I don't know. I don't think I'm gonna give a dark horse that can win the conference, but maybe a dark horse that can make some noise. Because like you, are you gonna say USC? I think there's a better chance Lincoln Riley gets fired than USC's a dark horse, dude. That schedule stinks.
It is a
Not
very
not
tough
not not in a
schedule.
good way.
Yeah, it's
It's
a
tough.
very tough schedule.
It's tough, and like they on paper again. I think my Yabba's a good quarterback. I mean, somewhere deep down, Lincoln Riley is still a good coach. Um, did they bring on Gary Patterson
They
to be the
did.
They
DC?
did. 66-year-old Gary Patterson.
I don't hate that though, man.
I don't either.
I don't. That could be a great move. And with all that being said, like I don't know how I can really buy into this team. Like their run here. They host Oregon, host Washington, go to Penn State, go to Wisconsin, which then host Ohio State, go to Indiana, all in a 6 week stretch.
Yeah.
That's very tough, and I'm dismissing at Wisconsin here, but bringing up the term trap game. You know, if you lose a couple of those and your team's down, do you fall asleep again? Or if you win a couple of those, you get too high, then you look ahead to Ohio State, Indiana. Talking about, I have no reason to doubt Kirk Cinetti, even though I just did. Why the hell am I going to trust Lincoln Riley when it just doesn't happen? So I can't go there. Um, so this is where I'm going to get clowned. And why not? Because the other two dark horses I've picked the last few weeks have been probably on the crazier side, but I'm not leaning toward a dark horse that's going to win this conference. I'm leaning a dark horse that I think can muck it up and I think can start to build something moving forward here that could be interesting, and that's the UCLA Bruins. Because they have a quarterback that has played in the playoff and has shown flashes before that he has some talent. They have a coach that, I mean, following the Kirk Ciannetti path here, has won at every level he's coached at and done, I mean, extremely well very fast. They've invested better. He's bringing a lot of guys from JMU, but hell, Cignetti did that at Indiana and it worked out fine for him. I'm not saying Bob Chesney's going to beat Kirk Cignetti. That's a hell of a pedestal to throw him on. I'm not saying UCLA is going to go 10-2 this year and shock some people in the conference, but I'm reading records. People are thinking 5-5 or 5-7, 6-6. I think there's a way UCLA can find a way to 8 wins, maybe 9 wins, if Bob Chesney gets the most out of this team. And that's saying something for where they've been the last couple years. So taking a different approach with Dark Horse, 'cause I don't think there is a true Dark Horse that can find the way into the Big Ten title game, but a Dark Horse that I think is going to be a better team than what most people are thinking right now. So that's my definition for Dark Horse, and it's UCLA. Do that with you, Will, both of you, and the internet.
My favorite part of that is that two of your dark horses play week one. So
They do.
you're going to
They
see the
do.
direction of both of those teams pretty quick. So,
Yeah. And it's more of a conference dark horse, right, than maybe on for the whole season. But
yeah,
yeah, they do. And I didn't plan that when I picked Cal. Kind of the same thing with them. It was more of like the ACC is really a one horse race this year with two of the teams that could maybe make noise. So give me a team that could shock some people. I believe in this dark horse more than I did when I picked Cal. I think there's more here than what's really going on at Cal.
I mean, just looking at their schedule, it's not a terrible schedule either. I mean,
It's not. It's
they have
not.
a
I think
chance, like you
there's.
said, to win 7 or 8 wins if you
I
if you play at the highest level.
if they get what they got out of that 3 game stretch last year, because you saw the talent at times. Now the last 5 games they looked abysmal, 42, and I think they were outscored by an average. It was like 42-12. But again, you bring in Bob Chesney. I liked the hire when they did it. He has like 130 something wins underneath his belt. The guy does win at every level he's coached. So uh, I think this could be a good start to his tenure there.
For sure. What about you, Lucas?
I mean, you went pretty deep dive on USC. Again, their schedule is absolutely brutal. I think offensively they're going to be very fun to watch. It all comes down to the defense. Maeva actually is the highest returning QBR in the league, and he had a freshman and a sophomore tackle, or his two tackles were a freshman and a sophomore last year, so they have one whole season under the freshman's belt and then two under the sophomore's belt. So, I mean, scrambling wise, he's been unbelievable. He's made plays with his legs. I'm really high on Maeva. I mean, I know it's going to be very tough, but I think they can upset somebody. And if tiebreakers run the right way, something happens, they might be able to sneak their way into a title game, just kind of out of nowhere. They go to Penn State, like you said, like that stretch from Oregon all the way to Indiana is just brutal. But again, if they drop one or two of those, I mean, they get Oregon at home, which is good. Which again, I just picked Oregon to win the freaking conference, so that would be kind of
And
yeah. But
this game was also massive last year, and they got boat raced, right?
I don't think it was a boat race.
It wasn't.
No,
I
I'm pretty sure it was close at first, and then it ended up being it was 42-27 was the final.
okay, okay.
Um, Actually, no, they got boat raced. It was 28 to 14 at half, and then they pretty much just traded touchdowns in the second half. Um, I don't know, man. I'm hoping that USC's defense is better this year than it was last year. Is all that what this comes down to, in my opinion. But if say they lose to Indiana and they lose to Oregon, Ohio State, as we talked about, has to go on that huge stretch before going to USC across the country. Um, so that they're going to Indiana, then to USC back to back weekends, and then they have to look ahead to host Oregon. So that's in a tricky spot for Ohio State. If they can beat Ohio State and win the rest of their games, I mean, a 10-2 USC can find their way into a playoff game, but you have to have some losses somewhere else along the way from Indiana and from Oregon. But yeah, I'm going to go USC, even though their schedule is absolutely brutal. And
Yeah.
again, it's all in the contention that their defense takes a step up from what it's been, which has been their issue all along, because their offense has been pretty decent. So yeah, give me USC.
One hesitation I would have is Gary Patterson being 66 and not being a legit coach in 5 years.
I mean, fair. Um, I mean, his record as a defensive coordinator is pretty good, though,
For
um,
sure.
and I mean, granted, he has been coaching the entire time, but there's not near as much scrutiny for 66-year-old Muschamp at Texas. Like everybody's like, oh, it's Muschamp, he's back. Like he's also an older dude
No,
as
I
well,
agree.
so yeah. But no, I agree. The fact that he hasn't been coaching in a while is something as well. So.
Yeah.
I mean, LSU did the same thing with freaking Bo Pelini a few years ago. Look how that turned out.
Sure.
So, yeah.
Well, my dark horse is kind of intriguing to me. They had a little drama in the offseason. Taking the Washington Huskies
Mm,
as my dark horse for the year.
I was looking at it
Um,
too.
Jumps from 36 to ninth in defensive SP plus last year. So I mean, like defensively, they were very good. Uh, Damon Williams, I mean, I think he's a rock solid quarterback. I mean, he's got coming back. They've got pieces coming back, and I mean, just looking at their schedule, I mean, they go through a couple tough game stretches where they go to USC and then they get Iowa on back to back weeks. And then to end the season, they have Indiana at home and then they go to Oregon, which obviously is absolutely brutal to end the season. But I mean, if you find a way to split with USC and Iowa, I mean, you're looking at a 9-3 season, which is very solid. I mean, we've talked about it before. I mean, like that Oregon, I mean, it's in Eugene, so it's a little different this year, I think. But I mean, crazier stuff happens in rivalries. So I mean, not to say that I think that Washington can beat them, but crazy stuff happens. So, but I do think they have a chance to be really solid, as long as they can. Which I mean, they had plenty of time to do it, but to get fully past the whole Demond Williams, I'm here, I'm not here, and I'm here whole saga that they went through.
That's that's my question for you, Brian, is what is Damon's mindset gonna be, right? Because
True.
he I mean he had one foot into Baton Rouge and basically went through a legal fight and then he just dropped out and stayed. So are we getting to a point where if he's playing poorly or if he has any spats with the coaching staff or if they drop a couple games, I don't know. I don't know anything really about the kid as far as his head. Like, is he gonna pout? Is he gonna be mad? Like, see, I didn't want to be here. Now I'm stuck in this, or is he gonna be like, all right, we had that. Let's move past it and get on with the season. That would be my question or my
Yeah, and that's
reservation, I guess, with Washington.
Yeah, and that's what I'm interested to see too, because I mean, they start the season with Washington State, Utah State, and Eastern Washington. So like they're gonna steamroll through week three. Then you have Minnesota come to town, which I mean I think that they can win that game. Minnesota's tough, but I think they can win that. So realistically, I mean, you're not looking at like a true game like what you're saying where he could just have a meltdown until you go to USC, where he could also have a lot of success if the defense doesn't improve more than what it's done in the past. So, and then you have Iowa October 9th. So that's a game where you could see a little change in demeanor if it exists there. But at that point, you're already halfway through the season. So I guess it's like what you said. Like, so what are you playing for at this point? Is it just personal pride, and I'm just going to let this ride until things get bad, or am I going to try to, realistically help this team throughout the year?
I mean, obviously it was a very public matter, which made it worse. But I feel like this stuff happens literally all the time. Like players are looking for better opportunities throughout the season, and if they're not, their agent or family member or somebody is on their behalf. Which is whenever they're talking about tampering or whatever. Well, you can't have contact with the player, but there are people and representatives talking the entire time. So could it be a distraction possibly? But I feel like it's starting to become like more like normalized with players across the country where they're looking for better deals. And um, again, I think also once Washington held him to that contract, it wasn't as much of him wanting to stay as much as it was other schools didn't want to have to pay $10 million to get him on campus, right? Because it was what, a $4 million buyout or a $6 million buyout, and then you had to
Yeah,
pay him $4 million on top of that. Like, eh, I think his valuation wasn't worth. It was worth $4 million to get him on campus, but it wasn't worth 10, right? And that's where LSU, whenever they were going to have to pay that buyout and then pay him on top of that, it just wasn't worth it in the end. But I mean, it definitely could be a distraction, but I feel like it happens a lot more often than we think behind the scenes, right? I mean, you see Ole Miss. Ole Miss is suing two LSU football players for breaching their contracts, um, and they're doing it publicly to just try to embarrass LSU because they're petty. But because usually that stuff gets taken care of under the table and not in the media. They wanted to leak that. I mean, you see the same thing with like, did Mensa sign already? Did I'm pretty sure Miami had to pay Duke some cash to get
Oh,
Darian
probably,
Mensa.
yeah, but
Yeah,
yeah.
and so again, right? It's I don't know. I think he'll be fine. Uh, Washington is a curious one for me too. Their schedule shakes out pretty well until the end of the season. I mean, there's a chance if they can somehow get through USC and Iowa. I mean, dude, like they could go in that Penn State game, what, 9-0,
10,
ten and
yeah,
0, you
9 and
know?
0 going to the last 3 games. Yeah, or I guess 8 and 0 because you got Penn State, Michigan State, Indiana, Oregon.
Yeah. I mean, is that likely? I don't think so. But again, even if they split the two against Iowa and
I'll
USC,
say even
that's
if you're 7-1, you're still feeling confident going into Penn State or
yeah,
hosting Penn State, so which is even better.
yeah, yeah. I was looking at
We'll
them
see.
too because again, we talked about. I think we talked about it last week. Just the discrepancies in scheduling, right? Some of these schedules are you're just like, oh, like that is a brutal run for Ohio State, and then you have other teams. You're like, oh, they missed out on all the big hitters. It's got to figure out some parity in the scheduling between
Yeah, there's
these
got to be some
conferences.
sort of, yeah, I don't know how you do it, but
Not with 18 teams.
yeah, that
Yeah,
is very true.
because Iowa, like, they play Ohio State, and that's pretty much it. They play Ohio State and Michigan. Like they skirted Indiana and Oregon. You know, I don't know. They were right up on the running for the dark horse for me too. Even though I don't think they're gonna, I think they're gonna be very good at running the ball. I think they're gonna be good at holding teams to low amount of points. I think Iowa unders could be back
Yeah.
in play.
You just always assume that the defense is going to be good as long as Ferentz is there. They're gonna muck it up, but like
They lost quite a few of their returners or their starters from
Gr
last year, but
Gronowski was, granted he
s-
didn't throw the ball great, but in the system he's not going to. But he was the most efficient quarterback in the red zone last year because
yeah.
he made plays with his legs.
Hmm.
Iowa, Brian kind of mentioned earlier, like we don't know who's going to start at Alabama. I don't even know if there's a quarterback on the roster at Iowa. They've said nothing about who's going to be their quarterback.
Nothing.
Like absolutely zilch. So they might just run Wildcat all year, which honestly might be a better option for them. But we had no idea who's taking snaps at Iowa.
N-
And
No.
they've had some bigger names the last few years, bigger recruited names. I mean, Gronowski was a big get. I mean, Miami was very interested in him. The McNamara kid a few years ago was like supposed to have a lot of talent, but they just don't do anything in this system. It's just not designed for that. So that's why I can't imagine this at this point of Iowa with the other talent in this conference actually winning more than 9 games. Like I just can't.
Even with their
It's a
schedule?
competition. It's a competition between Hank Brown and Jeremy Heklinski.
For sure, dude.
Yeah. It was the two guys they found best that could just take a snap, turn around and hand the ball off.
Yes.
Maybe have a little pop in their legs.
Oh
Uh,
man.
I mean,
Yeah. The Big 12 is stupid top heavy. That's all I'll say.
yeah.
Like that's what it comes down to.
Y'all don't want to
It's a
touch on
three team race.
y'all don't want to touch on some Nebraska football?
no.
I mean, I'm more hyped on Brett Bielema than I am about Matt Rule this year.
Yeah, I'm
But
kidding. They're not going to be very
no,
good.
I mean,
no.
Calandra's not a bad quarterback at Nebraska. I mean, they might have a few pieces, but no. I mean, again, like we've been able to fill a lot of time here with some of the other teams, but I mean, all honesty, outside of the big three, I don't really see it. I'm not saying they're going to have some decent teams. I just don't see it of actually a breakthrough of any sort.
No Rutgers this year, Lucas. Was your dark horse?
I think I'm going to pass on Rutgers this year.
On there's no Greg Schiano magic left there.
I think that
No.
might have passed.
I think it went away a long time ago.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't see anything good coming out of
No.
Rutgers this year.
No.
Um,
Ugh.
that's about it.
That's all I got, guys. That's all I got.
Yeah.
Think got anything else? All right.
The fun ones next
Th-
week.
SEC. Well,
No?
fun some of us.
Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we'll see. All right. Thanks everybody for watching. Continue to like, subscribe, share, tell your friends, tell your family. Watch our TikTok, follow our channel, share our videos. Until next time, we'll see you next week. See ya.